Welcome to Behind the Muscle podcast. Today's guest is an NPC bodybuilder. Today's guest is James Ferguson. James, welcome to the podcast.
How's it going?
It's going great, my man. Looking forward to chopping it up with you, getting to know you a little bit better. The first question that I want to ask you, James, is who are a few of your favorite bodybuilders of all time?
Favorite of all time. I'd have to say the guys that I started looking up to when I was younger. I'd have to say Branch Warren, Jay Cutler, Johnny Jackson, of course Ronnie, man. He's just mass monsters, those are my favorite.
I love it, man. Why Branch?
I don't know. Branch just always had that grainy, crispy, just slabs of muscle hanging off of him, and he trains intense,
Yeah, no, for sure. I'd say training intense is an understatement when it comes to Branch, right? So, that's something that it's kind of interesting. Like, I got into bodybuilding, started looking at magazines and stuff back in the late 90s, kind of the end of Dorian's era, the beginning of Ronnie and Jay's era.
Yep.
And I was a huge fan of Branch and stuff, but it's really interesting, James, how, I'd say probably over the last, let's just say 5 years, how training has really, I feel like, I'd say change and evolve. You're seeing these guys kind of do like that one top set and it's very like slow and controlled. But if you look at like how Jay trained, Ronnie trained, definitely Branch trained, they were much more like, I would say not so much sticklers on form, but it was a lot more explosive and just, I don't want to say more intense, but it was different training back there. Would you agree with that?
I totally agree with that. It seems like there was a lot more sets and a lot more reps. It wasn't just feel sets and top sets. It was just giving it all on every set and for multiple sets for those compounds. Yeah,
for sure. All right. So why don't you tell us, James, at what age did you start lifting weights? And then why did you start lifting weights at that specific age?
I think it was like 7th grade, 8th grade. I think it was 7th grade summer because I went to my grandparents. I would work on the farm during the summer, and I went to Vail, Oregon football camp. And it was me and my cousin, and I just got lit up by these farm boys, man. And they were older than me and bigger than me. And, I got home and got one of those cheap white weightlifting sets, the all-in-one with the concrete plastic weights. And it was in the second living room at my mom's house. And I would just, every day after school, just lift and have music playing from the living room. I thought, but yeah, just trying to get bigger and better ever since then.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Now, how did you kind of know where to start in terms of lifting weights? Did you look at some magazines? Did you see something in terms of a DVD, or where did you kind of learn to just start lifting, or did you just kind of go with the flow?
I'll say I didn't really know anything, but it's just lifting. But yes, from Muscle Fitness magazines, every month you'd go to the grocery store and get the new updated one, and you look at their workouts, with Nitro Tech, Cell Tech, and those days. But
yeah, cool, man. You know what, man, I absolutely miss those days. Like I miss going to like Walmart or a grocery store and like going over to the magazine. There used to be like, I don't know, 100 different magazines. You'd have Muscle and Fitness, you have Flex, you'd have Muscular Development, and it's like,
yep.
Dude, like, magazine racks don't even exist anymore. Young people don't even know what magazines are, and I just miss those days, dude. It was kind of fun, don't you agree?
I do, because I would always have one going to school, and then before bed, I'd have the stack, by your bed and just be reviewing it before you go to bed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
awesome.
Those are the good old days for sure.
For sure, man. Miss them for sure. But okay, so let's kind of transition into your upbringing, your childhood a little bit, James. I kind of like to get the backstory of my guest before we kind of get into the bodybuilding talk. So why don't you share with us where you actually grew up? You mentioned football. Did you play some other sports besides football? What was your childhood like? Just share a little bit up to about high school, and then I've got some questions to kind of transition us from there.
All All right, I grew up in Algona, Washington, which is just the outskirts of well, now Auburn. Um, yeah, grew up playing baseball, wrestling, and football. And then middle school, uh, again, baseball, football, wrestling. I did basketball a little bit, but then high school it was just strictly football, powerlifting, and track and field they had us do.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it was ninth grade. I'd race motocross, end up breaking my left arm. And then shortly after that, I broke both my legs at SIR racing. And then after those healed up, I broke both my wrists. And then I gave up motocross and just stuck with sports,
Yeah.
with football and weightlifting.
Now, out of the football, baseball, and wrestling, what was kind of your favorite of those three growing up?
Baseball is always fun, but wrestling, because it's just you and the other guy, one on one. You know what I mean? And you get what you put into it. So the harder you train, the better you got, your technique, the smoother you were, the further you went. I liked football because I just like laying the wood, ear holing people, playing middle linebacker, fullback, just stuffing those gaps. Just yeah, I think that's state of contact for sure.
Yeah, cool, cool. Now, kind of in your neck of the woods in Washington, are you guys University of Washington fans or Washington State fans, or neither?
Yeah, I grew up being a UW fan for sure.
Okay.
It was go dogs. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, man. Okay, what was your relationship like in terms of parents? What was that for you?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, your mom and your dad. I mean, did they have a pretty big, influence on you? If so, like, what did they instill in you? Was it like work ethic? Were you not really close to your parents? What was that like?
My mom's a workhorse for sure, so I think I got that from her. My dad was uh, really good in sports, and so he pushed that at his young age, and so kind of just stuck with that. And yeah, they were always supportive of all the sports and decisions I made. So
Ah, cool. Any siblings?
yes, I have a half brother and half sister,
Okay.
3 years and 2 years younger than me.
Okay. Awesome, man. Now, you mentioned powerlifting. When did you kind of get into that? Was that when you got into high school?
It was high school.
Okay.
Yeah. It was ninth grade, and when we started, and it was just to get an extra weightlifting class, going through the year. So
An easy A for you, right? Is that what it was?
yes, and it was awesome because it was first and second period, and then I don't know, I had a great schedule, and then the last half of the day was just welding and small gas engines. So it's a pretty good setup.
Yeah, cool, man. Now, in terms of like school and grades, like when you got into high school, was that something you enjoyed, or was it something that you kind of just had to do because that's what we have to do when we're that age?
I'm good at math. I enjoy math and science. Language, I'm not the greatest speller or writer, Um, didn't really spark my interest too much. History, history is just awesome. So that kept my attention. And so yeah, I just say it kind of went the flow. There's ups and downs of it, but
Okay. Anything, James, like, in your childhood that, whether positive or negative, you feel like it was like maybe a turning point or a turning moment or an event, something that kind of happened, again, positive, negative, that you feel like really shaped who you are at this point in your life? Or did you just kind of have a normal upbringing, nothing too out of the ordinary?
um, hmm, I think. Well, I grew up with a single mother, uh, provided, so I know that she was a workhorse, provided, gave me a great life and as a child. So I think I got that worth ethic from her. So a turning point more is just keep pushing, driving things you want to do, just keep pushing for them. And yeah, just don't stop, just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Okay, so when were you first exposed, or when did you first kind of come across bodybuilding?
I'd say if you, I've always trained because of football and everything, but like actually took it, like changed my whole approach would probably be a few years ago. Met my buddy Ryan Van Cleve. His coach was Turner Riddle, and so Turner's my coach. And so I think right after that, Ryan and I were training every day for a few years, and then Turner was my coach, and I think that's probably where it went from just enjoying it to actually having goals set and really locking in and getting focused.
Okay. All right. Okay. So before we kind of move into more bodybuilding, I saw on your Instagram, you said, or you have in your bio that you're a fitter slash welder. I have no clue. I mean, I know what kind of a welder is, but I don't know what a fitter is. I'm assuming that's kind of like your career. So why don't you talk about that for us and explain to those of us who have no clue what that is, what you actually do.
I'm a steam fitter by trade. Um, we do uh, we do everything with systems. I'd say like chilled water, heating water, anything for chillers, boilers, um, heating units, AC, um, emergency exhaust units, generators everywhere, high pressure lines, gas lines. So we pretty much do all the high pressure piping. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just
So do you like lay the piping? Do you fix it? What do you do? I have no clue even what you're talking about. So try to explain it like it's an introduction college course or something for me, would you?
okay. So you look at a building, or like let's say I'm on Microsoft right now in Redmond, but you got the structure. So you got the iron workers that are doing the red iron. So I take that as like the bone structure of a human body. And then the plumbers, they do anything that goes in and out of the body. So let's say potable water and sewage. And then so we fitters, steam fitters, we do everything that supports the body. So like the heart, which is uh, generators and everything. You got the pumps for the heating water, chill water. So we're doing all the internals. We're everything in there to get the building going.
Okay. Okay.
But and then let's say like the nervous system is like this, the electricians, the sparkies.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of, that's not the best way, but
No, I no, it's I get it a little bit more. Now, is this like projects in terms of like new construction, like if a house is going up or a retail business is being built, like is that what we're kind of talking about? Do you do everything residential and commercial, or just one or the other?
mainly just commercial.
Okay.
But yeah, so we do major projects, which is all the big skyscrapers, Microsoft compounds, Amazon, everything like that. But I also do TI, which is tentative improvement. So let's say older buildings that just want to renovate and upgrade their systems, to, we'll come in there and do that, and repairs.
Cool. How long have you been doing this? Is this something you've been doing since you were out of high school?
Yeah, I got pretty lucky, doing welding in high school when they had more programs trade specific. Yeah, you're in there welding, you'd think you'd really make a career out of it, but yeah, at 20, joined the union and just been building my career off that. Now I run work for, now I'm at Apollo Mechanical, and yeah, it's a great trade.
Yeah. My brother-in-law is an electrician for the union here in Iowa, down in Des Moines, and I know he's worked his way up through the ranks and stuff, and man, he's made a great living. Obviously, there's great benefits and a lot of positives in terms of being a part of a union. But I know he loves his job and he's had a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things throughout the state and even outside of the state of Iowa. So I know him as an electrician. He really loves it, and I think has had some really great workers as a part of his coworkers, as part of his union. So, so that's cool, man. Now, in terms of kind of getting back into lifting weights and stuff like that, James, so you started lifting weights between like 7th and 8th grade. Then you had your powerlifting class in high school, training for sports, football. So once you graduated high school, did you just kind of continue to lift weights, or did you stop lifting weights and then pick it up at another point? Talk to us about that.
Okay, back to when I started lifting weights, with powerlifting and everything. I got a gym membership, and it was freshman year, 2002, at Vision Quest. It was a super mall, just like a mile from the house. And so every day after school, buddies and I would go there and lift. So that's kind of just where it started. And then, yeah, I had like a year or two when I was like 24. I took off for a while, working a lot, just really focusing on my career, and then picked it back up, and yeah. Sorry, repeat the question again.
Oh no, I was just saying, have you been lifting weights ever since you started in 7th and 8th grade, or did you take some time off? And that's just kind of what I was asking.
Yeah, I just had a break there, and then when I broke a few bones, but other than that, no.
All right, so it sounds like before you connected with Turner Riddle, who he's been on the podcast, good dude. You were just kind of more lifting for the fun of it, for just kind of probably to blow off some steam or whatever. So let's start talking about transitioning then. Once you got connected with Turner, why don't you talk about how he's kind of maybe helped transition you more into bodybuilding, having some goals for your training. Unpack that a little bit for us, James, please.
Okay. I would like to say before I got with Turner, I was how do I say this? Let's just say when I got with Turner, he got me dialed in. You know what I mean? Like, my diet was decent, but not up to par. Training was good, but I was mainly stuck in the basics, so he's opened my horizon on that, gave me a variety, and I think it just opened a whole new ball game, and I think we got a good thing going, and I think it's just starting to show.
So so before you got connected with Turner, then you were kind of already moving in the direction of bodybuilding and hypertrophy training then?
Yes, like I wanted to, but it wasn't like set, it was more of, you go in the gym, you're just trying to get big and strong, and so you just step my game up.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm trying to get at, James, is what was kind of like the turning point for you in terms of like wanting to maybe start bodybuilding? Like what kind of caught your eye, or did somebody talk to you about it? Like where did you kind of go from just a gym bro to wanting to actually pursue maybe bodybuilding?
I'd have to say I finally felt like I had enough size to actually contend. I didn't want to be someone who just did bodybuilding to do bodybuilding. I wanted to make sure that if I did do it and I was going to step on stage, that I could be a contender. I didn't want to waste time. You know what I mean? I wanted to, if I was going to do it, I wanted it to be actually, in my eyes, worth it, not just doing it to say I did it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the end goal. The whole reason that we're doing this is to win. So I wanted to make sure that I had the chance and I put myself in the best spot to do that.
Okay. So then you said your friend's the one that kind of knew Turner and introduced you to Turner. So did your friend work with Turner, or how did your friend kind of get connected with him?
Ryan worked with Turner, I believe it was 3 years or 4 years prior. So we started working out and talking, and told him that what I wanted to do, and he introduced me to Turner, and so I reached out, and we started a program January 1st, 2020.
Okay, cool. The COVID year, a perfect year to start, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit of training talk here, because everybody loves that. So what were you training like pre-Turner, and then how has Turner maybe helped you adjust your training over the last couple of years?
All right, pre-turner, it was the basic 4 to 5 sets of 8 to 12 reps on everything. Not sticking to 4 or 5 compounds. It was do as many as you can do before you're absolutely done. And it was probably a normal bro split, chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, shoulders on Thursday, arms on Friday, and then Saturday was just kind of, it was just like miscellaneous, like touch up stuff, like wanting to do stuff, but yeah, and then rest one day.
Okay.
So now with Turner, I do a 3 on one day, and right now I'm doing a push pull, arms, rest, legs, push pull, and I've been doing that program for I think probably 2 months now, and then my push is more shoulder dominant this rotation, back is more width, and legs is more hammy focus this time. Um, and arms is pretty much the same, just more overload, I think. And yeah.
Okay. And so now are you kind of doing the normal typical what we're seeing nowadays within bodybuilding for the most part, kind of like doing the top set and then maybe a back off setter to what's like that kind of look like in terms of the nuts and bolts of your training style?
Yes, it's typically feel sets and then top sets. But right now I have a lot of this rotation. I have a lot of rest pause. So what I can normally do for about 15, I'll do for 10, take 8 to 10 deep breaths and then hit it again. And then if I get 10, can do it again. So it's usually try to push myself to where I fail about the third set. Some compounds I'll fail at like 2 because I'm really trying to push the weight. And so yeah, a lot of rest pause this time.
Okay, cool,
And
man.
then I got a lot of focus or a focused set on each muscle group just to help bring up lagging areas.
Yeah. Are you a pretty big proponent of like mind to muscle connection? Are you really trying to slow things down and connect with the muscle, or are you still moving things pretty explosively?
I do find myself still getting excited and moving things explosively, but yes, I try to really slow it down and get that eccentric, the negative, try to really feel that. So, because I feel when you do control that, you're kind of getting a 2 for 1, getting more out of it. Um, so sometimes I got to pull back the reins on myself and just say, hey, this is why we're doing this. So.
Right, right, right. So let's talk about like actually competitive bodybuilding then. Have you stepped on a stage competitively yet, or are you still kind of getting ready to do that?
I did November 2000. What was that? I think, yeah, 2000. Oh, sorry, I got with Turner in 2018. My show was 2020. It was at the Idaho Cup during COVID because they canceled everything in Washington. And yeah, so we were dieting. My eye was on the Northwest Championship, um, 18th of November, but they canceled that. So then we decided to do Idaho, and that was November 8th. And yeah, I placed fourth, not where I wanted to. First show, probably lost fat that I had on me since I came out the womb, to be honest. So, but yeah.
Okay, so that was November of 2020, then the COVID year that you first competed.
Yes.
Okay. And that was I'm assuming you were in the super heavyweight division.
Yes, I was 264.8.
Nice. Okay. So how was that first prep? How was that first experience? I mean, you're kind of getting ready. Obviously, we all know how 2020 was. It was chaos for everybody. But did you enjoy the process? Did you enjoy getting on stage? Talk to us about that, because not everybody that goes through a prep and steps on stage actually enjoys it, or that's maybe not everybody's favorite thing to do. A lot of people just love the training and they do the competing just for whatever reason. But what was that like for you?
Yes, I love the training. I did enjoy it because I just saw my body transform so dramatically and so quickly. Um, yeah, it was during COVID, so there was a lot of things. I was lucky to be a part of a gym that kept a certain membership going. Um, so that didn't hit too hard. Um, ended up buying a Stairmaster so I could just do my cardio there, you know. So I really dialed it in to try to stay leaner the off seasons, because doing an hour and a half on that stair mill every day was just right after your workout. That's a little brutal. And I know people do 2 hours and stuff, and shit, I'll do it again, but I'm gonna try to keep it a little tighter, just so we have that still in the back pocket if we need to
Right.
cut down.
All
But
right.
yeah,
So,
also,
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, yeah, I didn't know I liked white fish as much as I did, you know. but but yeah.
Okay. All right. So, you took all of 2021 off, all of 2022 off. What's been going on with that?
Just trying to build, just trying to be better each day, just stringing days and weeks and months together, just trying to, you know, like I said in the beginning, do this because I want to win. You know, I'm very competitive, and uh, pardon my language, but yeah, getting fourth place, man, that's a kick in the dick. That really that humbles you. That makes you really put things in perspective, and I don't want to feel that again. And I'm gonna do everything I can not to feel that way. And so that's why I'm just staying in my lane and just doing every day what I'm told, what I got in the plan, in the program. And then when coach says it's time to crank it up and get ready for the show, then that's when we'll do it.
I like it, man. So I know you didn't like getting fourth place, but do you feel like that was maybe a good thing in the long run for you, just to kind of, I don't know if you want to say get humbled or get kicked in the pants, but do you feel like that gave you even more fire and more hunger, and it's going to just in the long run make you that much better of a bodybuilder, James?
100%. It's just like when I went and played in seventh grade with those Vale Farm boys, man, getting hit in the mouth by those guys. That's when you just got to go back to the drawing board and put down a plan and go for it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yes, that was a moment just like that I'll remember.
So any plans, do you and Turner talk about possibilities in terms of when we'll get to see you on stage again, or are you guys not even at that point? It's still deep into an off season.
Let's just say next year.
Okay.
Next year should be a good year.
Okay, cool, man. Awesome. So I'm assuming your end goal as an NPC athlete is to get your IFBB pro card the next time you step on a pro qualifying stage, which that'd be your first time stepping on a pro qualifying stage, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you get your pro card. What is your long-term competitive bodybuilding goal for yourself, James? What do you want to accomplish before you're done stepping on a bodybuilding stage?
After that, I would like to do some pro shows. It'd be awesome to win a pro show. You know, yeah. I don't want to put the carriage in front of the horse. But yeah, I would like to see where I can take this. There's levels to it, and I want to see what level I can take it to.
Okay. So you want to take it as far as you can then, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So what's your main focus in terms of everybody, for the most part, bodybuilding wants to put on more size, but what areas of your body specifically are you maybe more focused on right now, or kind of hyper focused on?
Legs and arms. You can never have too big of legs and arms. Okay. So my main focus is arms altogether, but I'd like more bicep peak from the front. Legs always can be bigger all the way around, but I would really like to have some more hammy. But yeah, more abductors, quads, everything wouldn't hurt, but that's probably my two, I'd say, is biceps and hammies.
Okay. But so what for legs, what are you, let's just talk about hamstrings. What are some movements that you found up this point that have been helpful for you in terms of hamstrings?
Proper stiff legs.
Okay.
Yes, properly slowing that down, engaging it by the muscle, actually feeling that stretch, squeeze at the top instead of just going through the motion. Because a few years ago, 585, I'd just be cranking that out, and I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. But drop some weight, really focus on that connection, and I can really feel it. And they're starting to show a lot better too.
Okay.
Really pushing myself on my top sets with hammies. Um, at the end of every leg workout, focusing. I do a 100 rep drop set challenge at the end. Just really trying to push as much blood after I tear those up during leg day as I can to get all that nutrients and everything in there. So that's just a little bit of it.
Okay. Any, I'm assuming you're probably doing some sort of curling movement, aren't you, for hamstrings at some point too?
Oh, yes.
Seated leg curl, lying leg curl, single leg curl? What do you usually do?
I'll start off with warming up with seated leg curl, get some blood flowing, get the knees going. And then we'll do some fuel sets and then a couple top sets. And then end up going to, let's say, squats or leg press, depending on which rotation I'm at, or hacks. And then we'll do some laying leg curls. And then another quad exercise. And then either, depending on what rotation, I'll start with stiff legs or end with stiff legs. And then I will end up doing some single legs in there too to really push it to keep balance in each leg so one doesn't get more dominant than
the other. Okay. Now, and you said something about biceps and specifically bicep peak. I'm sure you probably are going to be the type of person that's like, screw the genetic side of things. But do you feel like the bicep peak is something that you can actually bring up? Or is that more of a genetic thing and you just need to get bigger arms overall to kind of make your biceps look quote unquote bigger?
Yeah, I think it's just overall bicep. I just say that because I would like to have more of a peak.
Ronnie Coleman peak, right? We would all love that, man.
Yes, I would. Where you can see it front, back, everywhere, Yeah. But yes, more overall bicep growth. So I really concentrate on concentration curls, hammer curls, dumbbells, stuff like that. Really working on the connection, bringing that pinky around. Sometimes it's a little difficult because I've broken my wrist a few times, but still get it there, So
yeah. All right. Okay, what's the gym situation up there for you, kind of in your neck of the woods? Is there, you got a decent gym that you get to train at every day, or what?
Yes. TBC is my home gym. That's in Tacoma. It's about 15 minutes from my house, but I do a lot of my work Redmond, which is about a 2-hour commute. So every morning, I get up at 3. I'll be on the road by 4, start work at like 5, depending on which job, 5 or 6. So it's about an hour 15 drive there. And so if I'm working deep up north, I'll either hit an LA Fitness or a Fitness Quest on my way home to kind of let traffic die down. So my typical day is I'll be leaving work, eating my pre-meal as I'm heading to the gym. Hour gives me good time to get it digested. Go in there, do my thing, and then drive home. It's about a 2-hour commute every day home. So I just bring all my food with me. So
okay. So the gym that's kind of close to you, is it a bodybuilding gym, or is it more of like a Globo like fitness gym?
Oh, it's a bodybuilding gym. Yeah, he during COVID he bought 200-pound dumbbells, new set of 160s to 200s, and yeah.
Okay, cool. What's so I know now, is the Emerald Cup, that's a pretty big show. Is that in Washington? Is that in Oregon? Because I know that's a pretty huge show up in your guys' neck of the woods. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct, and it's in Redmond, Washington. Well, Bellevue, right on the line. It's up north.
Is that a competition that we may see you compete at some point?
Maybe.
Okay.
But yeah.
You're not going to let too much out of the bag today, are you, James? Huh?
No, I can't until I get the final word from my coach.
I understand, man. I understand. That's cool. I respect that, dude. But I've heard about the Emerald Cup. I know. I believe Stan Efferding, which I'm assuming you know who he is, right?
Yes.
I think he used to live in Washington, or he's from Washington, I believe, and he got his pro card at the Emerald Cup. Am I correct or am I incorrect on that?
I don't know if he got his pro card there because I think it's just a pro qualifier.
Oh,
but
okay.
But yes, it's the biggest show I think, up here in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of like the bodybuilding scene in Washington, I know Oregon's got some legit guys. Justin Shire's there. Mr. USA, Stuart Sutherland used to be up in that neck of the woods. Ryan Foster, who's going to be competing at nationals here at the end of the year, who I think has got a great shot at getting his pro card this year. He's up in that neck of the woods. But Washington, where are we at in terms of the bodybuilding community in your state and specifically in your area? I know you said you have a bodybuilding friendly gym, but any IFBB pros, like open bodybuilders 212 up in that area or not?
I think Washington's still in the making. I think, yeah, give it a few years, but yeah, no. Oregon has really stepped it up. That's for sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing nationals this year and watching those guys. And then, yeah, Stuart winning overall at Mr. USA that's awesome. That's a huge accomplishment. And yeah,
Okay.
I think the Pacific Northwest and Justin Shire, he's getting ready for his pro debut. I think yeah, the Pacific Northwest is starting to grow,
Okay. Cool. What's do you have you do you pay attention to kind of like, did you pay attention to the USAs and North Americans? Do you know any of the guys? You talking to those guys, or are you kind of just again staying in your lane and got the blinders on?
I'd say I stay in my lane, but yes, I watch those shows to see who's winning, who's up there. It's kind of hard not to when that's your goal is to be up there. So I got a good idea of what's going on with competition and what's going on there. So
do you have any thoughts on any of the guys' physiques that you saw at the earlier pro qualifiers this year?
For Washington shows?
No, like the USAs and North Americans, any of those guys. I mean, did any of those guys stand out to you, or what did you think of the competition?
Oh, I think, yeah, it's stiff competition for sure. I think those guys. I think, what is it, the top 3 or 4? They've been battling it out since North Americans. They've just been switching a couple spots, but I think you're gonna have some fresh blood coming in at nationals. So guys that have been shooting for that show all year. So I think that they got a good chance of shaking it up too. So we're gonna have to watch and see.
Do you have any favorites going into the Olympia?
I think Rami's on a whole new level. I think he's going to be on number one. People can be upset that he doesn't do more touring and exhibition work and whatnot, but yeah, he's just big boy, very big boy. As long as he can keep bringing it in like he is, I think he's just gonna keep taking it until he calls it. And then after that, dude, it's a toss up, Hottie, he comes in shredded, dude. He's so full. Then I think he has visa issues. Nick Hunter, those guys are animals, dude. Samson, dude, he looks insane. I think he's really gonna shake it up too. Ian, he's always comes in and he's put on some good size. So yeah.
Where do you see Derek Lunsford falling? Let's just say in the top 10. Where would you where do you think he could possibly land? I know it's all speculation, but we're just having fun talk as fans, right? Where do you think he's going to be at? Because I think he is. I mean, he's legit, man. We've never seen him, at his peak in terms of what his body potential is with open, because he's always been sucked down with 212. Obviously, he's got the structure. I'm pretty confident he's going to have the size. He's working probably with the best coach in bodybuilding. So what do you think about where he's going to fall this year, James?
Let's just say, dude, he put on a show at Pittsburgh. Yeah, he showed up, dude, and he showed that he can hang with the big boys. And his shape is crazy. He is so bubbly and such a tight waist. His lines, they pop. it's hard to say because he's always been dieted down so much for 212 that you haven't got to really see his full potential. And yeah, he's working with the best. So I don't know. I don't want to like undershoot and I don't want to overshoot, but I think he'll shake things up. I think he'll be right there. Man, okay, let me see just a sec. Could be anywhere from 6th to 8th. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be right there, right around the Ian Sampson, Brandon, but I don't know where Brandon's going to be in that too with all this new blood coming in hungry. So yeah, I think it's probably around there, 6th to 8th.
What do you think about the newest guy on the scene, Andrew Jack?
Crazy shape, and he's a tall guy, so that works in my favor. You know, I like to see that because I'm a little bit on the taller side.
How tall are you, James?
6'2".
Oh yeah, you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, with gravity, I might be like 6'1.5", but yeah, we'll see. But
close enough.
No, no, with Andrew, yeah, crazy shape, dude, just very good lines and everything, you know, just like everyone else was saying, you know, his hammies, that they just in glutes coming a little tighter. But you know, this is his first year. He just got his pro card too, and he just won two shows back to back. So it's, you know, what, UK Arnold. Yeah, he's making big strides. So yeah, that's another person you can't sleep on because the more shows, the more he's peaking, the tighter he's going to get, the more he's going to know his body. So yeah, I don't know. I think
top 10. You think he's going to be in the top 10?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's gonna, dude. It's gonna be, if all
it's
these
very
guys,
competitive.
It's gonna, if all these dudes show up. I mean, Regan Grimes, he's not doing it, which, you know, no big deal there. But I mean, if all these guys show up, and some of them don't pull out, it's gonna be wild, dude. Like it's gonna be fun. I think. Don't you agree?
I think this year is probably the most I've looked forward to the Olympia in a while because just about everyone got their invite. You know, they got their qualifier. So if they all bring it, it's, dude, any little thing can drop you 2 to 4 places just like that. You know, so yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting.
What do you last question and in terms of the Olympia, and then we'll move on. But what do you think about Nick Walker? What's your just in terms of his physique, not maybe some of his other stuff, but in terms of his physique, I mean, what do you think about him?
Dude, he's a freak. He's just he's dude's got a lot of muscle. And he can come in shape too. You know, those arms are just ridiculous.
Yeah, those are the arms that you want, right?
Yeah, yes. Just they're crazy, you know.
Yeah.
It just proves my point. You can't have too big arms ever, you know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, his arms look like it's like a kid's like head, just, you know, just sitting right there. I mean, they just
right there.
Like, there's mountains, dude. Like they're different than Ronnie's. Ronnie's were obviously big, but he had those, like, Ronnie's bicep heads, like you could literally see the split in them. Like it was just like, I don't know if I've ever seen biceps like that. Nick's is just like, it looks just like a little child's head popping out, or like a little mini mountain. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, man. So
Yep.
awesome, man. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about, you know, somebody that's watching this, James, or listening to this. They're maybe just getting into bodybuilding. Like we all have our starting point. What's something that you kind of know now about bodybuilding specifically? That could be nutrition, training, mindset, however you want to take it. What's something that you kind of know now about bodybuilding that you kind of wish you maybe would have known a little bit sooner or earlier, that you can share with us so that we can kind of maybe learn, or maybe not go down that same road you did, what have you?
I'd have to say diet.
Okay.
Diet, um, it's just like putting fuel in your car. You know what I mean? You're running higher grade fuel, you're going to get more out of it. So I think, yeah, just the proper diet and understanding digestion, so your body being able to absorb it and you're able to push more food. Um, wish I would have known that sooner. And then also going in there with intensity training, I get it. Everyone has their days where they're tired and they don't want to be there, but you showed up. But stop scrolling and put on some music and focus on the task at hand. You're there to get that set. You're there to warm up, feel that weight, and then push it. So I just wish I would have just had, if I could have those two things sooner, I think I would have had a better start, way better start.
So how did Turner kind of adjust your eating or nutrition? Like talk about that a little bit, because like you said, that's a huge part of bodybuilding. How have you adjusted or Turner adjusted the eating over the last several years?
Um, well, before I would just eat, it's like, you thought protein was protein, carbs is carbs, fats is fats. In a way it is, but not in the way that I was eating it before. Um, I had a lot more dairy in my diet before, which kind of plugged up my digestion for the rest of the day, so who knows what I was actually digesting and what I was just getting rid of. Um, Also, you're more conscious of like, okay, let's say you go get a steak and potato from somewhere, like the oils and stuff that they're cooking with. You start. It opens your eyes to the little things when you first start that you're not really keen to because you're thinking just protein, carbs, and fats. So I'd say when I got with him, having the structure, I'm a very big structure kind of guy. I have to have it. If I don't have structure, like when we had the whole COVID, when work was shut down for a little bit, those 2 weeks, because I wasn't waking up with, purpose to eat and go to work, my days were starting to slip, so then I ended up staying later to get my last meals in or workouts later. So almost made a full rotation. So uh, I have, my phones and my alarms are set, and that's what time I get up, and that's what I do. Yes, there's a little flexibility for life, but I have to have structure for sure.
Okay. So outside of bodybuilding and fitting and welding, what are, do you have any hobbies? Do you have any interests? What do you do for fun or to chill, or is it all business 24/7, 365 for you, James?
Um, it's, let's just say the last few years, it's been pretty much a grind, but my fiance Ashley, I proposed to her in July, so we'll be getting
Congrats.
married next year. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so when I do have time, I usually spend my quality time with her. Join each other's company, doing things that with family on the holidays. Uh, I live on the Carbon River, so I enjoy fishing. You know, Silver's and Steelhead right now. I haven't gone yet this year. I usually have a freezer stocked up by now, but yeah,
Okay.
that's about it. Yeah, I stay off dirt bikes now, but yeah,
Okay.
probably just say my life's pretty. I wouldn't say Groundhog's Day, but it's kind of on repeat, but with progression.
Yeah.
That's
And purpose though. You have progression, but you also have a long-term purpose that you're working towards, right?
yes, in my everyday life and in bodybuilding and in my personal life.
Yeah. Yeah. Music. Are you a music guy? If so, what's kind of your go-to tunes?
Okay. Let's say in the morning or just like every morning, either driving to work or on the weekends if I'm not working. I'm a really big fan of 90s country, man. You know, Brooks and Dunn are my favorite. The older stuff, it's just grew up on it, love it. Let's say when I'm working, I really like 80s rock. I don't know what it is. Probably just started my career in those fab shops, the old timers playing that. Just something about it just gets me going. Uh, and then when it's time to lift, I like rap and some hardcore rock to really get in the mood. But yeah, it's my variety there.
Okay, cool, man. Got a little variety there, James. I like it, man. Okay, now in terms of career, do you kind of see yourself continuing down the career path that you've been on since you were like 20, or at some point, if the bodybuilding stuff kind of unfolds the way that you envision it to unfold, would you like to kind of get into coaching or training or anything like that, or is that not really your jam?
Okay, my career, I love my career, put a lot of time into my career. My career allows me to do bodybuilding. It pays for everything. It's given me this great life. I enjoy it. I enjoy training. I enjoy bodybuilding. Let's just say, yes, that'd be awesome to take bodybuilding if it could be self-supporting and could pick up to where I'm off. But I'm also very realistic that there's very small people that make livings off of that. And so um, I'm a numbers guy and and percentages. So I'm living a good life, set up pretty well. So if that did happen, more power to it. That's awesome. Yes, that'd be awesome. But also, it's not something. Yeah, it's something I'd pursue. But let's just say I wouldn't quit my day job before going. You know. So,
Yeah, yeah. Like you said earlier, you're not going to get the cart before the horse, right?
exactly.
Okay.
So if something starts picking up and it's great and I enjoy it and I got good people and everything, yeah, I'm sure. But I would never quit my day job until I don't know if I would, to be honest. Um, but we would work something out.
Yeah.
You know, only the future can tell. So
Right. Those are bridges you'll cross if and when they come, right?
exactly.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here, James. I got a fun question here for you. I like to ask sometimes to people. I think you might be a little bit passionate about this one, so I'm excited to hear what your answer is going to be or answers. What are some of your biggest gym pet peeves?
Ooh, okay. I do have a few.
You know
Okay.
what, James? You're a dude that I do not want to cross and tick off in the gym. I do know that. So what do you got for me, man?
Yeah, a lot of people say that, but dude, I guess I'm too nice for my own good, man. But no, okay, pet peeves. You see people load up the equipment and they'll try to put so much weight on there and they'll do it like for a rep or two and then they just walk off. And it's like, come on, just re-rack your weights. You spent all that time putting it on there. Just clean up. Your mom's not here to take care of you and make your lunch and give you a little cookie afterwards. Just be your own person. Put it away. Second, and I am very aware of my surroundings when I'm in the gym. And I apologize or say excuse me when I'm going to get the dumbbells with the dumbbell rack. Okay, you're right there, you're doing your set. There's only so much room between you and the dumbbell rack. Like you don't need to grab your weights and walk across there. You can come around and grab it. You know, I I've always done that, or I wait until people sets. I won't go in there. It's just yeah, those little things. And then nowadays it's more little herds of people just sitting on a machine and just camping out on it, man. It's like you want to go set up a mailbox for them, you know, a PO box, because they ain't going nowhere, and you're just trying to get in and get out, and
Yeah.
not trying to.
No, you're good, man. And then the thing is though, somebody that's jacked like you, being 6'2", if you come up and if you say anything as kindly as you can to somebody like, "Hey, bro, are you using that?" or however you would say that, they're gonna think you're a a jerk and all that type of stuff. I mean, you're probably like in that situation, you can never win, right? They're probably always gonna be like, "Dude, like who's this jerk trying to tell me to get off the pull down machine or whatever," right?
Yeah, I've gotten some crazy looks. I'll say that. For the most part, people are like, oh yeah, just one or two. So I think it's really in the word selection. So I'll just be like, hey, excuse me, how many more sets do you have? Just try to be as, what's the word? Not intimidating, kind of like casual, and it usually works pretty good. But you always get the other ones like, I'll let you know when I'm done. You're like, cool, I'll find an alternative. I'm not dealing with this. but yeah.
Is it now, you said you lift like at an LA Fitness and stuff sometimes. Is it hard for you to go from your bodybuilding gym to the LA Fitness? Because I'm assuming those big box gyms, which I've experienced, I mean, it's kind of a free for all. Is that the case, or is that one pretty good for you?
Yes, it has its days where it's like I should just sit in traffic longer and go to my gym. But for the most part, I kind of walk in before I change, scan the floor, and I know where I'm starting, where I'm warming up, and I'll probably hit that. And then the 2 exercises, depending on what I'm doing, I'll kind of see where people are, and if they're open, I'll hit it. I try to stay to my program, but if I have to, I will jump an exercise and then fall back on one just to keep my time moving. And to be honest, less encounters with people because I'm just trying to get in, do my thing, and get out.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to sound like I'm rude or anything. I still smiling and doing my thing. I'm there for a purpose. So
of course, man. We all get it, man. We're all bodybuilders, and it's definitely a jungle in some of those Globo gyms at times. So James, I think we're going to wrap it up there. I think we had a pretty thorough conversation, man. We kind of touched on, the nitty gritty, the nuts and bolts. And I'm really excited. If and when you post on your Instagram, your next competition, I'll be excited to kind of keep track of that. And what I would really like to do, man, is whenever you guys kind of decide your next show is, I would love to kind of maybe bring you on a few weeks out and just kind of talk about how prep's going and things like that. If you would maybe be down with that, would that be cool with you?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. All right. Awesome, man. So before I do a quick outro, James, I want to kind of just give you the floor to share with us any final thoughts, any final words you might have, any shout outs. If you want to give us your Instagram, that would be great. Anything you want to leave us with, the platform's yours, and then I'll do a quick outro. So what do you got for us, man?
Yeah, just a shout out to my coach, Turner Riddle, man. Hell of a dude. Awesome. And I'm grateful that he's my coach and that I met him, man. We were on this great journey, and I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on this podcast. I really appreciate it. I didn't see this coming, so it was a surprise. And keep going. Let you know when we come up with a plan, and be happy to do another podcast. And my Instagram is bigferg_gains. And I've been slacking the last few weeks on posting stuff, but it'll be back up there going, so.
Well, it sounds like you got a few things going on, man. So Instagram's not, the number one priority, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, you're right. It kind of when I have time, I get up there.
Yeah, that's completely cool, man. All right, James, I appreciate your time, dude. I'll definitely look forward to getting you back on in the future, and it'd be pretty cool to see you get that pro card in 2023, man. So really appreciate it. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All of you who are tuning in to another episode of Behind the Muscle podcast, I just want to say thank you so very much. I appreciate all of you. I value all of you. Per the usual, if it weren't for all of you, the podcast simply would not exist. So I don't say this lightly. I really appreciate every single one of you, all the support that we get on Instagram, all the support that we get on YouTube and the other podcast platforms. It's just exciting to kind of see this podcast continuing to gain momentum and gain steam, and all the positive feedback that I get through Instagram and YouTube. I thank all of you very much. If you have not subscribed to BTM on YouTube, please make sure you do that. I release all these episodes first on YouTube. So if you want to stay up current on the episodes of Behind the Muscle podcast, make sure you are a subscriber on YouTube, and then also share this episode on your Instagram stories. Make sure you tag James. Go ahead and tag his coach, Turner Riddle, which he's been a guest on the podcast. So if you want to learn more about James's coach Turner, awesome dude. Just scroll back, go back on some of those previous episodes, probably about a year ago, and you can also listen to Turner's episode. And then finally, I will leave you all with this. Remember, behind the muscle, there's always a story. We'll catch you guys later.